Thank you for tuning in to Final Fantasy Entertainment and Podcast Network Final Fan TV. This is Final Podcast. We are ranking our top 10 Final Fantasy songs, and each one of us have brought our own personal top 10 list, including our Ultimate Weapon Patreon, Badly Brave. And as Ultimate Weapon, they have been given the benefit of directly contributing to the overall ranking. So big thank you to Badly Brave for being our Ultimate Weapon, and also thank you to our new Patreon supporters, MJ Gallagher and Peebs Nibbles. Thank you so much. And I mentioned
what a fun name to say, by the way. We win on two fronts. We get a supporter and we get to say his name. It's glorious.
And I mentioned overall ranking, so you may be wondering what that means. Well, here's how it works. I have taken all 4 of our lists and combined them into a top 10 overall ranking. So each ranking was weighted. So if you ranked it number 10, it was worth 1 point, all the way up to if you ranked it number 1, it's worth 10 points.
10 points.
Once they're all added together, we get our top 10. There are ties that need to be broken. That will be fun. There's a game or a song that's going to need to be edged out of the top 10. So what makes this more exciting is that the guys, Vinny and Reed, actually have no idea what the overall ranking is. So this will be a surprise to them and to you as the viewer. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be really fun.
There's going to be some violent discussion.
This is going to be
so help me God. No.
All right, here we go, guys. I think the best way to do this is to start with number 10. And before we do have an advertisement that didn't make it to air, and we're going to play that one right now, and then we'll get it underway.
Hey, cool cats and kittens. Why don't you tune in about 12:30 Eastern time today for some smooth fancy tunes like this one. And if you can't, well, then you're adopted.
Reed, you can't say that. So Final Fantasy jazz music is what you're talking about. So.
All right, so starting with number 10.
The cut is so good. Oh my God, it cracks me up.
Starting with number 10, we have a 4-way tie for from 8th to 11. Each of these songs got a score of 8 points. Okay. We have one song from our Ultimate Weapon Patreon, Badly Brave. That would be The Theme of Love. And I believe that is a little unfair that he's not here to support this song to try to edge it back into it, but we do thank you for that. And I feel like it's not going to make it into the top 10 because we're going to fight for hours here.
But we are throwing it out as an honorable mention.
Very
YouTube
honorable
can influence.
Mention.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
It's a good song. It's a great song.
Yeah, Badly Brave actually has a song in here that definitely impacted this this list here. So, Lust for Power from Final Fantasy XII. This is kind of an overworld area theme that plays in Final Fantasy XII. I believe that this was Reed's choice, Lust for Power. I'm going to go ahead and name all 3 songs here, or the rest of the 3 songs. So Lust for Power and Force Your Way from Final Fantasy VIII, which is a battle theme. And then my choice, Cosmo Canyon from Final Fantasy VII, which is of course a town theme. So yeah, I mean, this is obviously, it's been voted the same amount of points. So I think we probably had it in the same area of our top 10.
So we got a 3-way tie here.
We have a 3-way tie, 4-way tie if you include our Ultimate Weapon.
That's true.
Badly Brave with his Theme of Love. But I mean, as much as I love the Theme of Love, you know what I mean? I love the Theme of Love. That's from Final Fantasy IV. It plays during Cecil and Rosa's, like, whenever they're having a moment. And yeah, I mean, I love that song. But unfortunately, Badly Brave is not here to fight against it because, I mean, What do you guys get? All right, so Lust for Power. Lust for Power, Reed. Why was this on your list?
Man, so it hasn't been a stranger how much like 12 has grown on me in my recent playthrough, particularly Zodiac Age. But Panorama, I think, Rift on going up Mount Burmese. It's just like this super like ominous music, like going up the mountain, scaling the mountain. You're just like something big or bad is about to happen here. And then like you safely get to the top and it's like, oh, okay, like all that for nothing. And then you have to go out on another mission and then you come back again through that area. And when you get back, something does happen. But it's just like going through it, man, I was like, this is ominous. Something's coming. And it's just like, it's such good hype music. And it's like so ominous and just eerie and absolutely beautiful. 12 has a great soundtrack. I wish I could include more, obviously, but top 10. But I think this is like my favorite from 12.
Okay. Vinny, you said Force Your Way.
Yes.
From Final Fantasy VIII. Why you got that one,
man? Because for me, a lot of Final Fantasy was like how hyped I would get during boss battles, and I feel like there was just so much attention put into, like, from Final Fantasy 1 on, like so much attention put into the boss battle music. Like you knew, like from the very first time you fought a boss in any Final Fantasy, or like this is the boss music. You could just tell because of how much it's trying to hype you up. And like Force Your Way from Final Fantasy VIII. Like I have most of the Final Fantasies on my cell phone. I usually play them all with the sound off. But whenever I know I'm getting into a boss battle, I'll turn my sound on because I just, I want to listen to that boss battle music. You get you really hyped up. Unfortunately, I'm usually like overpowered, so the boss battles usually last like 10 seconds and I don't get to enjoy it. But I think that's another reason why I like the boss battle music, because
it's like a sampler.
Yeah, it's like a sampler. And then
yeah, if I didn't spend like 30 hours grinding, I could listen to this longer.
Yeah, exactly. And then
it's a tease.
So and Force Your Way is just coming off of Final Fantasy VII, which had an amazing soundtrack. And then I think the Force Your Way just stood out in Final Fantasy VIII because of it just had like it was fun and poppy, but like I feel like, because a lot of people make like metal versions of Final Fantasy songs. There's one person that comes to mind, and usually every boss battle song sounds amazing like through a metal cover. And it's just a testament. Like that game was made in what, 98? And 1998, and I'm still listening to it today in 2021. And I'll listen to the original 16-bit, or I'll listen to somebody do like a metal version. It doesn't matter to me. They're both just as good. It gets me just as hyped, like, to want to do a boss battle. So that's why I chose.
Okay. This is fun because we have an overworld area theme, a battle theme, and now
we have actually another good point. Techno Obliterator. Yeah, that took me a little bit. Said Force Your Way is a good workout song. I haven't worked out to any Final Fantasy songs, but I think Force Your Way would be one of the ones I would work out to. I should make a workout playlist of just Final Fantasy boss music.
Dude, that'd be great.
I had that going the other day. I put on some Final Fantasy workout music. I don't work out. I was just like, I need to get some exercise. So I put on some Final Fantasy music. My wife comes out and goes, you have a weird choice of music to listen to while you work out. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
No. Let's all right. Let's be real. Your wife walked in on you and said, "You're working out."
Working out the theme of love.
All right, guys. Oh, let me just talk about Cosmo Canyon for a second, okay? Because this song is one of those songs that when it comes on, I just feel it. You know what I mean? You need to just I got it playing right now on my eardrum. Right. Ready? Here comes. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, here comes the good part, right? Here comes. At 30 seconds. Here comes. Come on, right? This song right here is. I'm surprised it didn't end up number one on my list. I freaking love this song. I love this song. This is the Cosmo Canyon. I cannot wait for it to hit remake, and like the next installment or remake. Hopefully, it'll be in there. I'm just so excited for Cosmo Canyon when you get the full orchestra and hear how that's going to sound. Although I will say that when I went back and I listened to every Final Fantasy soundtrack before this, I was like, something beautiful about the simplicity of these older soundtracks. Whereas like,
Simpler
man,
times.
I don't. Right. It's this. Oh man, it's just so beautiful, man. I have it playing my eardrum right now. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've made my case. You know what I mean?
I just want you doing Cosmo Canyon as like my ringtone on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like,
gonna be my sound bite.
Reed, you have
Yeah.
a phone call.
And everyone around is like, whoa, this dude's dope.
Reed, you have a phone call.
Oh my god, is that Cosmo Canyon?
that Cosmo Canyon?
Like a 7-year-old
lyric?
woman just like, oh Jesus Christ, that's Cosmo Canyon.
And that's how Reed met his wife.
Yep.
Yes. All right,
It came
guys.
into my inheritance.
Creasman says Cosmo Canyon is an all-timer. Can put it anywhere on any list. It's the only thing that sounds like it. It is like, I mean, it's so unique. It's so unique. I love it. Yeah, there we go, guys. So what do you guys think? What are you guys thinking, man? We're gonna have to. One of these songs have to be number 10.
I mean, honestly, dude, Rift for me is like so high up, but Cosmo Canyon is like, it is just a staple. Like anyone who likes Final Fantasy, if they don't have Cosmo Canyon, up there, they need to put down the crack pipe or pass it. It's Puff Cosmo Canyon.
Puff Cosmo Canyon. Cosmo Canyon has got to be
Quotes,
number 8.
yeah, quotes of the cast. Yeah.
Puff Cosmo Canyon. All right, so Cosmo Canyon is number 8 on the list. We have determined that.
That's fair.
Is number 8?
Number 8 on the list, yeah. So now we're gonna go number 9 and 10. We have Lust for Power and Force Your Way.
I mean, Decrease Man's like, I don't care, like the theme of love.
You're still voting for Theme of Love, guys. I mean,
like I think Rift
you guys,
is like,
real quick though, does anybody like feel like Theme of Love deserves to be on here above Force Your Way, or like any of your choices? Like, do you feel like, oh man, I forgot that one?
so we have Ultimate Weapon saying it, and chat is reinforcing. I mean, out of respect for the Ultimate Weapon in the chat, and also Theme of Love is really good, and it's kind of like,
like Theme of Love.
I could see that in top 10.
Yeah, I'd put it number 10, and then Force Your Way is going to be number 9. Sorry.
Wow,
and
so
then-
Theme of Love is actually edging into to number 10.
I think it's fair. We have more than enough support for it, and I agree. It's kind of like, I mean, I personally still think Rift would be like 3 or 4, but man, it's just, I mean,
Theme of Love. Wow.
yeah. All of you YouTube, Paramina Rift, Lust for Power, and listen to it. And tell me, like, as you listen to that, you're not just like waiting for a car to crash through your house or something. It's such ominous music. It's like something awful and awesome is about to happen.
It is. I played it. Played it while we were talking about it earlier.
It's so good.
Oh man, so okay, so now we're trying to figure out what number 9 is. Is it Force Your Way?
Well, you
Or-
put Force Your Away.
Did I? Oh, you can actually see that?
I can.
Oh, okay. I'm like in the middle of editing it
What
right now.
Force your away.
Force you away. All right, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of editing. I didn't know you guys could see it as I'm editing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Force Your Way. Or no, I'm sorry. At number 10, Theme of Love. Number 9, Force Your Way. Number 8, Cosmo Canyon. We just knocked out 3 of them, boys. Are we set with that? I mean, Reed, I know, you know, you're trying to do the good thing here, you know, listen to our Ultimate Weapon Patreon. You know, our chat is saying it, theme of love, but I mean, is lust for power? Is it, I mean, you want to fight for it some more, or are you good with that?
I mean, it's so, I mean, like we're discussing in chat, it's just, you get into the game, right? And I love all the side missions, all the stuff like that. The main story is like pretty interesting. Like I enjoy it. I mean, it's Final Fantasy Star Wars basically, but there is just like a climactic, you know, it's like Final Fantasy VI, when Kefka destroys the world, like on the floating continent, or it's just like that climactic atmospheric track, and you just know something is about to happen. And you know, I'm gonna throw out a spoiler for Final Fantasy 12. You know, I think it's been out long enough, but like this, the dreamer, like basically like their idea of like the Pope, it just like gets assassinated, and like this holy sanctuary just like gets overrun by the Empire, and it's like their first like major act of aggression against like a neutral party. In the escalation of like the game, because it's like right after Vayne kills his dad to take over control, and it's like, you know, it's about to start, and then you're going up this mountain and the music just hits like that, and it's like, you know, it's like, it's coming.
Mhm.
It's just, it's so good. It's just, it hits different.
Okay. Well,
oh, okay, yeah, there you go, Decrease. Yeah, there you go, Decrease, man. It's, oh man, it does
Okay.
slap, man.
I'm playing it right now. It's got that just, it's super ominous. I love it. Yeah, so I think we're gonna stick with this. I think we're gonna stick with it. Number 10, Theme of Love. Number 9, Force Your Way. Force You Away.
Force you
Sounds,
away.
it like quickly turned into a Linkin Park song. And then
my.
number 8, Cosmo Canyon. I
All
like
right,
that so far.
Since you brought that up, I just want to give like a little appreciation to Linkin Park. I've said this before, I believe on stream, but I don't know if it's just me. I know Daniel had the same thing as me. I want to know how many other people had this though, but like Linkin Park Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park Meteora, Linkin Park Reanimation, just playing Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10. I always had Linkin Park in the background. I just felt like Linkin Park and Square Enix were like, hey, let's collaborate without letting people know we're collaborating, and kind of just, you know.
Yeah, it basically became a soundtrack of itself for Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
playing Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid Theory is
Final Fantasy
like,
10.
I mean, Hybrid Theory slaps for sure. But I think for me, like Meteora is like where it's like a little bit more like atmospheric almost. So me and my brother got back into GoldenEye. We just re-explored, you know, N64, which is still one of like obviously like the greatest console of all time.
Oh,
Started
S-tier
playing Star Fox.
console.
Yeah, S tier, absolutely. S tier console. Started playing like Star Fox and everything. But when we got back to playing GoldenEye and playing multiplayer, you know, playing Heads Up, Somewhere I Belong, we would just play on a loop. Just because of the intro and just like the hook and everything like that. For whatever reason, like I cannot think of GoldenEye without hearing that song and imagining playing Proximity Mines on faculty, listening to Somewhere I Belong. Because we always did Proximity Mines in faculty, and we would have a box between our screens. So the whole thing was we just set traps for each other. And sometimes our games would last for like an hour because, you know, we're just like waiting for but yeah, Somewhere I Belong, Linkin Park in general. But yes.
Yeah.
Well, so there was actually a song off of Meteora that I like. Whenever I heard it, it always reminded me of the Mount Gagazet theme, and I can't remember what it is. And I'll try and find it out. But like they have kind of like the same like little flute playing in the background, and I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like Mount Gagazet. I'm gonna listen to this while fighting Seymour. So, but yeah, because I always felt like Linkin Park just had such a strong connection to
Check them out. We're gonna move on to our number 7 spot. All right, here we go, boy. Let's get this going back and rolling. This one is uncontested, number 7. This is from our Ultimate Weapon Patreon. Snuck this one in there. The Price of Freedom from Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. That one snuck in. That one snuck in. Wasn't on our list. It wasn't on my list.
That's a good one. That's a good one though.
Yeah, that's a very good one. That one snuck in. I'm going to play that right now in the background. Yeah, so it's obviously it's tied to some very important events in Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and very memorable. What do you guys think of that one? Techno Obliterator says good choice. So, yep, The Price of Freedom. There it goes. It's playing right now in the background. All right, so that was uncontested. Big thank you to our Ultimate Weapon Patreon, Badly Brave. You got yours in there, man. That one came in at number 7. All right, and now we're going to move on to our tie for 5th and 6th place. All right, so this one's going to be a battle. We have Aerith Theme and A Fleeting Dream. So I believe that this one's going to probably be strongly contested by Vinny. Vinny, why don't you go ahead and take it away of why Fleeting Dream was on your list, and actually go ahead and fill people in on where Fleeting Dream was on your list.
So A Fleeting Dream was actually number 1 on my list. That's like honestly overall between all video games, probably my favorite video game song of all time.
Really?
Yes.
That's wow.
Yeah. A Fleeting Dream. It emotionally it hits me. Like I could be happy and it'll hit me. I could be sad and it'll hit me. There were times where I've been like upset, and the first thing I would think of is like, I think I want to listen to A Fleeting Dream just to kind of like bring my emotions out. Because there was like an hour and 6 minute long loop of A Fleeting Dream on YouTube where I just kind of like closed my eyes and listened to it, and it kind of like
well, it's 56 minutes and I know because I just put it on.
Oh, it's 56 minutes. Okay.
Dude, no, that's, oh man, I could listen to that. I mean, 10 has a lot of great tracks, but I definitely appreciate that one just like hits you personally like so much.
Yeah, it's just like the moment it happens in the game, like I'm sure most people have played 10. That moment in the game, like you like the main character and you realize like he's not going back. Like, you know, that's the moment where he has to make a choice. Like there's a lot of things that get like laid out on the table. You know, some people are making sacrifices. Some people are never going to be able to get to go home. Some people are never going to see their families again. Some people are dead and still walking around. You know, like there's just a lot of things converging at that one point in the game. And then it's directly after fighting a pretty difficult boss. And then you finally make it to like the apex of the game, the area that you have been going for the entire game, everybody's been trying to get to Xanarkand, some for different reasons. And when you get there, and then that song only plays on that one road from the end of Mount Gagazet's trials to the actual inner city of.
Was that the Seymour Mountain fight?
No. So Seymour Mountain fight happens right before you go into the Gagazet trials, and then after the Gagazet trials, you fight the Sanctuary Keeper, where it's that giant dragon with the spaghetti wings. He has spaghetti wings.
The noodle dragon.
The noodle dragon. Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Noodle Dragon, top 10. Where's Noodle Dragon ranked on your top 10 boss fights of all time?
I just thought it was interesting how, from the atmosphere to and here's what I thought was interesting the most. You get to the part where it's just on that one road, the road to Xanarkand, from Gagazet to Xanarkand. Maybe it's about, I think, 3 or 4 actual screen changes. And when you get into random encounters, the music doesn't change. It just continues on from it. It doesn't go into the regular battle theme. And I think that accents how important they wanted you to feel for that moment, because you had the pyre flies flying around. You're still fighting Gagazet monsters, and so you're not in Xanarkand yet, but it's just that one road. I think it metaphorically is their whole journey. That road, you're supposed to be reflecting on your whole journey, and it made brought into real life. I just feel like that song, if you ever need to reflect on something, or if you're ever struggling thinking what do I want to do, or I'm stuck in a spot, just listen to that song, and I feel like it clears your head to where you can just think about one thing.
There is another song in 10 that does that same thing for me, and I have a sneaky suspicion it's probably going to end up being on this list. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to mention it. But yeah, no, that's another good one. And I think, in fact, the one that I'm thinking of might even possibly overshadow this one. So so it's actually I'm happy you kind of brought that up, because I even just popped that on for 2 seconds and was oh, I remember this one. And also Final Fantasy X is I replayed 7, I replayed 8, replayed 7, replayed 12, which honestly I think 12 is my favorite to replay. But 10 is next. So I'm looking forward to this.
If you're listening in the background right now, chat, you hear that beautiful symphonic Aerith's theme playing right now, and I'm sure that emotions are swelling within you as
You Are Not Alone is a really good one too, and not the Samson song.
Listen to that music. All right, so Aerith's theme, you talk about emotional. This song is directly tied to your heartstrings as it just plays them, right? You just hear that right now? It's just playing your heart.
Are you doing the Danny Asmer ASMR network?
Dude, you guys can hear that right now, man. Your eyes are starting to get a little wet.
Hear that asthma.
Your eyes are getting a little wet. And
asthma.
So,
dude, I love
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Hear that asthma.
Aerith's theme is iconic. Fleeting Dream, I appreciate the emotional connection that you have with it, Vinny. I do appreciate that, but Aerith's theme is iconic. It is tied to one of the most iconic moments in Final Fantasy, in all of video game history.
And
transcend Final Fantasy.
The first time I saw Cloud, and we've already discussed this theory about Cloud drowning Aerith, but the first time I saw the theory is Aerith was paralyzed because she got stabbed through the spine. And so Cloud dropping her in the water would drown her. Although we had an intelligent discussion about this with I can't even remember who it was. Oh my gosh. But he was like, yeah, well, there'd still be air in her lungs if she was alive. It's like, oh, touche. But the first time seeing that with the theme playing, man, I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, and my eyes were just like, just soaked, man. Like they were just tears just running, man.
Vincent Graymore trying to get us to cry right now. Aerith will no longer talk.
My eyes,
laugh,
eyes burned. I'm trying to remember clouds.
Dude, and I have the music playing in the background. Come on. This is number 5. I don't know. I mean, like, I know this was number 1 on Vinny's list, and I feel like that should have a lot of weight because this is number 1 on Vinny's list. The Fleeting Dream, number 1 on Vinny's list. Aerith's theme, I guess I go ahead and say it was number 2 on my list. Only one other song edged out Aerith's theme, and then it's also ended up being on our Patreon supporters list as well. That one came in at, if I can bring up his list. Yeah, it was on our Patreon supporters list at number 10. So it just got there at number 10. So it was on 2 lists, and if you add together my number 2 with his number 10, we get a number 1 spot that can compete directly with Vinny's number 1 spot. What do you guys say? All right, so
I think Vinny's is slightly more of an outlier, and it's like a more personal thing, like me with like Rift, which isn't even on the list. And
which I will drive that home. Keep bringing it up, but it's not on the list.
But yeah, I think just for the generality, the universal appeal of Aerith's theme and just everything that ties into it. I mean, if we're just doing one's 6 and one's 5, or you know, I would give Aerith's theme the higher spot just for the impact, the cultural impact, I guess.
I'm gonna bring another thing up. A Fleeting Dream.
Let's hear it. I love it.
A Fleeting Dream actually like shows up in the game like 5 other times. It like there's so many like towns have the same, it's the same beat, melody, all that stuff, just done on a different instrument, kind of in a different tone. Like I believe I think it's Kilika, or there's a town where it's a Fleeting Dream but played on kind of like a Hawaiian ukulele type sounding thing, kind of sounding upbeat. And it just shows up in different parts of the game, and then it just like makes its grand entrance at the end of, I guess you would say, the base game, like the very end. So I like that song was actually, it was kind of just noodling its way through, planting a seed, and then
that's 2 noodles. That's 2 noodles today. There's noodle dragon and noodle theme.
Way in.
See, so I promised Ramen that I would kind of throw subtle, you know.
Ramen is also a noodle.
Ramen.
It's like he just has like a pack of Ichiban. Like, I promise. Like.
All right, I have the A in there at number 6. It could go into Aerith. It could go into A Fleeting Dream. Chat, what do you guys think for this tiebreak? I think me and Vinny have stated our case. I think Reed has stated that Aerith's theme goes above A Fleeting Dream. Is that correct?
I would put that slightly higher, just for, again, like the universal appeal of it, as opposed. I mean, with full appreciation of the fact that Fleeting Dream slaps so personally to Vinny, and I love that. And we were talking in chat. Decrease even said, like, would not have even thought of it, but as soon as I put it on YouTube, within like 2 seconds, I was like, oh man, I remember exactly when this is. And it's another like very somber kind of thing, and I like how Vinny described it. It's like, because all the characters are kind of like coming to understand like their mission more, you know, like the whole goal of the game, and which is, I mean, the twist on that is one of my favorite things in all Final Fantasy. So I think that's great. I think Aerith, if you had to rank like top 5 most popular characters or like recognizable characters excuse me, in like all of Final Fantasy, she's like right up there, and her theme would definitely be like one of those.
Yeah. All right. So I have it at number 6, A Fleeting Dream. Number 5, we are now in top 5 territory. Top 5 territory. Aerith's theme is number 5.
So
all right.
I just wanted to bring up. I don't see the limit gauge bar moving. I don't know if we're not getting followers or what, but I just want to remind everybody that if you want this giveaway and you want to be part of the giveaway, you need to be viewing and following, and we need to hit 10 followers this video.
There it is. There we go. Thank you. That builds up that limit gauge. Once we hit our limit breaker, the limit breaker himself will start the giveaway on an Aerith themed music box, and that's a beautiful time to talk about it as we're playing. Thank
you, Techno, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, Techno.
Also, guys, all you guys in chat are like awesome. I love it. We have a pretty consistent few guys who come in and do this, so really appreciate you guys. Love chatting with you. You guys have like a lot of good points and stuff too. So definitely want to make sure you guys know that like how much we appreciate you, and we want you to like, you are like a part of this. Yeah. So I mean you essentially you make this. So yep. So thank you again.
If not, we would just be 3 guys talking about Final Fantasy.
just 3 brothers, and they have to.
2 dudes wearing beanies. One dude keeping his car warm.
Danny's not even a beanie bro, dude. Like,
I know, man. It's keeping my car warm. So
I give this podcast 2 out of 3 beanies.
All right, guys. As we just talked about 2 beautiful slow jams, I believe it's time to take it to Slow Jams with Vinny.
The song you are listening to is A Fleeting Dream from the Final Fantasy X original soundtrack. This lyricless song speaks many words, like a skeleton key to emotions. Whether you're starting a journey in life or ending one, regardless of where you are, this song teaches that it's not about fitting in, but more finding the right puzzle so that all your pieces will fall in line.
And that was Slow Jams with Vinny. All right. We're going to move on to our number 4 spot. Our number 4 spot.
I can't. It's like that long shot, like coming in, of just him sitting there. Like, I just like I don't know why, but like I am. The first thing I thought of was like The Simpsons. Like, hi, I'm Troy McClure. I'm sure you've seen me in such films as like Diaper Genie, and like it's just like actual quote.
Oh man! Oh look how many people are unfollowing now.
Oh, the limit gauge is going down. Can you guys just do that for the rest of the time? We have one more special video.
Oh my god, yeah, Danny's. I've seen Danny. That was my first time seeing Vinny's, and just all I needed, like, I could just have that on mute and just playing for the rest of my natural life, and it's, and then you add his docile tones, and it's just even better.
I can do my playthroughs in that robe if you want.
Oh man, I literally cried from that. That was so funny. Oh god, you know, and what's so funny is you were like, mine's nowhere near as good as Danny's, but
that's great.
Yeah,
right?
No, mine is nowhere near as good as Danny's.
Well, Danny just has the joy of editing, whereas you have the joy of bathrobe.
Beth, I just want to let you know that took behind the scenes real quick. That took longer than I thought it was gonna take because I kept screwing up my words, and I had to redo that fire like 8 times. I had to keep going back and getting firewood because it just kept going out. I was like, ah,
that's incredible.
Right. Number 4, and that from here on out, it's uncontested. So from here on out, we have uncontested, no tiebreakers. We're just going to go to our number 1 spot. let's talk about this. We have number 4, the Final Fantasy VII Prelude.
Yes. Yep.
The Final Fantasy VII Prelude.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, I think what makes this so special for a lot of people is that Final Fantasy VII is obviously very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. And let me just play it real quick. You go ahead, Vinny, take this away. Let me play this. I'm gonna set it up.
I mean, the Final Fantasy VII Prelude is actually my ringtone for when anybody calls me. It's that. And my texting tone is the "you died" sound from Dark Souls. So I mean, that just kind of shows that Dark Souls is below the Final Fantasy VII Prelude. So that is like pretty major. It's the first thing you hear when you start up Final Fantasy VII. Like the Square Enix, that's all silent.
Mhm.
Everything is silent. The first thing you hear and the first thing you see is that Buster Sword and you hear the prelude and then you see the Buster Sword and it just flows. It's like usually the first thing when you think of Final Fantasy, you think of that prelude. Like, you know, no matter what, it's so universal. It's
just beautiful. It really sums up. If you listen to it like closely, you can captures so many themes. You know what I mean, within music, and I think that's special. Like within, like if you listen to the song and you show it to somebody, I feel like they could probably tell you the theme of Final Fantasy VII, and I just think that's beautiful. Reed, what do you think of the Final Fantasy VII Prelude? This was actually Final Fantasy VII Prelude ended up being on my list, Reed's list, and our Patreon supporter Ultimate Weapon Badly Brave on his list as well.
But
so
not my list.
It was not on Vinny's list. No.
Interesting. Oh man, I mean, Prelude is just. I mean, man, what is there to say? What's really
this was
funny
number 5 on yours. Yeah.
Yeah. What's really funny is I've actually been sampling like songs to Prelude, like mixing them just because like I don't know, man. It's just so iconic to me. I still think of just the first time slapping in disc 1, you know, lowering the lid on my PS1 and hitting the power button and seeing, you know, where the credits start and the prelude starts. It's just like that started so much for me, and I can like literally remember that exact moment from when I was like 8 years. It was like my 8th birthday when I got it, and I mean,
yeah. So Kreisman says that Final Fantasy IV did it first and did it better. I'm gonna play that real quick just to hear what it sounds like. For me,
4 is amazing in general, but
yeah, 4 is one of my favorite Final Fantasies. See, like, I love Final Fantasy IV's Prelude, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about it that doesn't move me like Final Fantasy VII's Prelude moves me. Like that subtle, or not the subtle, but that orchestra or just coming in like the da-na, da-na-na, right, and that just feels so good. Whereas Final Fantasy IV kind of has like a, I don't know, it makes me antsy. If that makes any sense, makes me antsy. Like it's got that, it's like a too much of an echo thing going on. I do love it though. Don't get me wrong. Final Fantasy IV, one of my favorite Final Fantasies of all time. But Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, S tier Final Fantasy. So
yeah, it's just got to be that echo that's going on with the but it's like jittery.
Yeah, it's a little jittery. I think jittery is a good way to put it. Whereas like 7 just has like it just
plus Final Fantasy IV's Prelude's only a minute long, whereas Final Fantasy VII's
like,
Prelude.
It's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why I just wanted to explain. That's why Final Fantasy VII is not just a nostalgia choice, even though I will say Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. For me personally, the other guys had a very varied list, but for me personally, Final Fantasy VII soundtrack is a absolute masterpiece.
Vincent Graymore brought up a good point, where it's like the bridge between older and newer titles. I still like the original Prelude better than remake. Remake's Prelude it's better, more well done, honestly.
It's got that big full orchestra, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier.
Exactly. Sevens is like simple and beautiful.
Yeah. So that's our number 4 spot. So number 4 spot. Let's go into number 3. Number 3. Let me bring up my list. I want to make sure I get this right here. Number 3. This is gonna be a really good one. I'm so happy that this made the top 3 because now we are in top 3 territory. Number 3. Xanarkand. Xanarkand made top 3.
So this was 2 Xanarkand, the piano.
Yeah, choose Xanarkand, which is also I think the prelude for
Xanarkand.
It's not the prelude. It's the song that plays during the opening cutscene where it's like super, it's like no one's talking. Yeah, and Titus goes, "This is our story. This may be our last chance," and then like it goes into the game.
No, yeah, I had this in my top 4. I think. I mean, God knows, I love this one. It's so good. It's so damn good.
So Xanarkand hit all 3 of our lists. Did not end up on the Ultimate Weapons Patreon list, but it did end up on ours, very high up. For me, it ended at number. Oh crap! Hold on. I'm sorry. I have this like in reverse order. 1, 2, 3, 4. It ended up 4th place for me. And then for Vinny, it was where was it on your list, Vinny?
On my list, it was
in 4th place for Reed. So yeah, it was high up there, and I think a 3rd place kind of like obviously, you add all of our lists together and you find the average, and I think it makes a whole lot of sense for this to hit number 3 in our top 3. It is a beautiful song.
And yeah, this
2 Xanarkand was number 7 on my list. But when we go over our lists, obviously when the list is done, when we go over our lists, you'll see the common denominator of all the songs in my list, and you'll see why 2 Xanarkand is lower.
Mm-hmm.
But Vinny's number 2 is the Blitzball theme.
No, it's I mean, the Blitzball theme is a pretty solid sports theme for like, you know,
S tier mini game. S tier.
It is an S tier mini game.
I spent as much time on Blitzball in 10 as I did in like main story time in other games. I love like Madden. So I would just recruit everyone and level everyone.
You don't even need everyone. You just need to recruit Brother. He's like twice as fast as everybody else. You give him the ball and nobody can catch him. Just spin in circles.
Data is all you need, man, because Data is quick as shit. Super quick.
You're fine.
And has a great shot. And then Bada and Jasu. What's his name?
Jasu.
Bada. Yeah, is it Jasu? I mean, you have a great team already. Like, you only need to recruit anyone. And
so if you recruit Brother, he has double speed than everybody else. I'll do this on stream one day. But you give him the ball, and he outspeeds the other team to where all 6 of them are on top of each other, and you can bring them to your side and then rush their goal with Brother, and they're stuck in your side.
Well, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I would use all the formations. Like, it's basically like how in 7 Remake, like Danny's talking about how you swap between characters constantly. That's like me in formations in Blitzball. But yeah, I basically do the same thing with Dado. You don't need Brother. Dado is my brother. Brother.
Xanarkand, number 3 on our list here. If it was up to me, I mean, it's very reminiscent of Aerith's theme, you got that piano thing going on. And man, when it comes to slow jams, but Vinny knows best because he is the slow jam with Vinny. But
I have a robe.
He has a robe. I have a robe. Glass. He knows more about slow jams. I just feel like Aerith's theme should have been number 3, but that's just me. Xanarkand though, I love this song. It's just one of those songs that you just play and just absorb. So I love that. So Xanderkin, number 3. Now we're moving on to our top 2 songs, and it looks like there's going to be a riot if Dancing Mad is not in our top 2. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if Dancing Mad ends up in our top 2. But first, let's take a look at some heavy metal. Maybe you just want some metal music in your life. So we have recommendations from Heavy D.
Final Fantasy music rocks! If you're looking for some FF jams that kick major butt, check out these tracks that slap.
And that was your heavy metal recommendations from Heavy D. We're going to move on to our top 2 Final Fantasy songs. Here we go. Number 2. I want to ask you guys for predictions, but I don't want to give anything away. So no predictions. Maybe I can ask chat. You guys have predictions for number 2? We're almost there. I'm gonna Riot. It's gonna be Riot. Final Fantasy, our top 3 so far. Actually, you know what? Let me just do our top 10 for any audio listener. Number 10, The Theme of Love from Final Fantasy IV. Number 9, Force Your Way from Final Fantasy VIII. Number 8, Cosmo Canyon from Final Fantasy VII. Number 7, I love how that went, like from Final Fantasy VIII. Number 8 from Final Fantasy VII. Number 7, The Price of Freedom from Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Number 6, A Fleeting Dream from Final Fantasy X. Number 5, top 5 territory. Number 5, Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII. Number 4, the Final Fantasy VII Prelude.
Someone else mentioned hip-hop to Chocobo.
Number 3, Xanarkand from Final Fantasy X. Number 2, and I'm surprised about this one, One Winged Angel.
Hey,
there it is.
I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't on my list.
That's exactly where I had
freaking
it on my list
cannot
too.
believe it. I cannot believe it, but it wasn't on Vinny's list. It was not on Vinny's list. Vinny, I want to start with you and wonder why it did not end up on your list.
It just, I'm gonna be honest. Like, the song before, One Winged Angel, I thought was better than One Winged Angel. Birth of a God, when you're fighting Bizarro Sephiroth, I thought that one was more like, you know, into like make me into the boss battle. With One Winged Angel, now it was a good song. It didn't make my top 10, but it would make like my top 15. But I don't know, it just sounded very like bizarre circusy
Bizarro
to me,
if you will.
It's Bizarro circusy.
yeah, like, you know, and then you know, if you screw up, you're listening to the song, watching Supernova go over and over again, turning you into a frog just so you could die, and then you have to go through everything all over again, and then you're just listening to the song, you know. The song just didn't do it for me, and I know that's probably the unpopular decision, but again, if you see the rest of my list,
which we're going to do here in just a moment.
I'm sensing a central theme of Vinny's list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blitzball. number 2.
Yes. Blitzball.
Okay. God, that kickoff music. I just hear those boops in my mind.
Just hear those. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna actually put it on the screen for you, Vinny, as you name your top 10.
As I name my top 10?
Yeah, we should definitely do the top 10s before we reveal number 1. Even though I'm pretty positive I know what number 1 is.
I'm wondering.
It's got to be number 1.
I think it's got to be number 1 too, but I don't know. I could be wrong because
I've been wrong. But hey, Paramina Rift isn't even on the list.
I know you keep bringing it up. Vinny, go ahead and start with number 7 on your list.
Start at number 7 on my list.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm sorry. What did I say? Number 7? I'm sorry, I got 7 on the brain.
You
start
sure
at
did.
number 10.
Okay, so number 10 on my list is Laguna's theme from Final Fantasy VIII. I thought it was nice. Just like a fun little battle to separate, like, you're not playing your normal party, you're following Laguna's little journey. I thought Laguna's theme was a nice little battle theme. Number 9, which interestingly enough, I think this is the only good song off of the Final Fantasy V soundtrack, but it is Battle at the Big Bridge with Gilgamesh. I thought
Also,
that was...
How dare you say that that's the only good song from 5?
I think Battle at the Big Bridge, it's just like boring soundtrack after boring soundtrack, and then you fight Gilgamesh on the bridge, and it's just like this like grandiose, like bombastic,
They call
like
me
trilling
Mr.
up and
bombastic.
So yeah, that was my number 9. Number 8, interestingly enough, is actually just the normal battle theme from Final Fantasy X. Since these games are so grind heavy, having a really good normal battle theme I think is important, and I think 10 did a really good job with its normal battle theme. 7 was To Xanarkand, the piano that made number 3 on our list for the official
made number 3.
the official opinionated list. Number 6 is Birth of a God, which is the Bizarro Sephiroth fight from Final Fantasy VII.
Great.
Which I'm sure everybody's noticed this, but Birth of a God is actually the amalgamation of the Final Fantasy VII battle theme and Sephiroth's theme put together.
Yep.
I thought that was very subtle and clever, that you have your normal battle theme and then Sephiroth's theme put together to like this really fun poppy kind of like speedy boss battle music. Number 5, which wouldn't have made this list if I didn't just replay Final Fantasy VI, but the boss battle, the decisive battle from Final Fantasy VI.
Yep. That's a good one.
It's really good. I forgot how good that boss battle music was actually. Number 4. What was that?
I'm trying to spell decisive. Give me a second.
You got this.
I keep
DECI.
misspelling it. I love how everybody can see me just trying to like type really quick, messing up every time.
Like, look at him struggle. Number
list.
Number
This is a
4.
boomer list. Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, boomer. Ranked top 10. Yeah. Top
Number
10 OSTs.
Number 4 is I thought was, so you have, it's from Final Fantasy X, and you have this theme of Final Fantasy X music, right? Kind of like, you have Via Purifica, which is classical, and you have all these like soft tones and everything, and then you fight the final fight with Seymour Omnis, where you fight him inside Sin, and that is my number 4, the Seymour Omnis battle, where it's just kind of like different. It's just weird and different, but it goes really well, and you're fighting him like on this like staircase going into like what looks like what people would predict heaven to be, like just these like bright shiny clouds behind him, and you're fighting him, and it's just like this weird, it doesn't fit with the rest of the game, but it worked. Number 3 on my list was Force Your Way from Final Fantasy VIII. And as of now, you guys can see most of my list was fight music.
Force Your Away.
Force You Away from Final Fantasy VIII. Number 2 on my list was Genova from the original Final Fantasy VII. That song, I think, is like the creme de la creme of
I almost said we shouldn't even mention a certain song because due to its impending placement. But yeah,
that song I feel like could be every single boss battle song because it's like just from the minute it starts trilling down to and then it gets to the chorus where it's like da da da, like you're just like I'm fighting something big. I'm fighting something big. And then obviously my number 1 song was A Fleeting Dream from Final Fantasy X. So that is my list.
So we have on screen, we have Vinny's top 10. A fleeting Vinny, I was about to write. A fleeting Vinny.
A fleeting Vinny.
So that's Vinny's list, everyone. What do you guys think of that one? Baby Seal says this is a boomer list.
You know what we should do?
It's a boomer list.
All right. So chat, we'll show you our 3, and I would love for you guys to rank our 3.
Your 3? What do you say? What's up?
I'm saying chat rank our individual lists.
Oh, like rank. Which list was best? Okay, I like that.
So basically, they get to pick which one of yours is second and third, because obviously I'll be first. So
okay. So Reed, you're up.
All right. So my 10 was a tie. Like I couldn't pick between these two. The first was the boss theme from 4, which slaps. I don't care what anyone ever says. I love it. Theme of Love is great, but for some reason I just love that freaking boss music so much. And the other one, underappreciated. It's like from the prologue, basically, of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. It's a Hill of Fate. Yeah, Hill of Fate.
Was that number 10? That's number 10, right?
Yeah.
Hill of Fate from Mystic Quest.
Yeah, it was like a tie for 10. So, I mean, you can put either one really because, I mean, it's like 50-50.
Okay.
But man, Hill of Fate it just slaps, man.
Hold up. Baby Seal just said y'all should just change your levels to 34 since that's how old y'all are.
Hey, that's rude. I am not that old. I'm slightly younger.
I'm 28.
But I would be thrilled if I lived to see 34. So number 9 is The Extreme from Final Fantasy VIII. Great song and a personal favorite. That is the Ultimecia music. It slaps. It's a great one.
Kreisman says that you picked the 4th best song from Mystic Quest. What is the best song from Mystic Quest?
Let's hear.
Yeah, let's hear it. Go ahead with number 8 while we wait.
Yeah, actually, my whole top. My
still
whole
has
top
9 picks, Kreisman.
My whole top 10 is just Mystic Quest songs. Like, it's all just Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. That was the first Final Fantasy I ever actually played. And for whatever reason, just Hill of Fate just hit. And it's like at the beginning of the game, and I was like, 6 years old or something. I was like, oh, I gotta run down this Hill of Fate. Like, I don't know, man. It was exciting. I love it. It's kind of like a sentimental thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Tristram is a, oh my God, he's a boss.
He's a boss.
Tristram is a boss.
Number 8.
Oh yeah, sorry. All right, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. All right, the overworld theme, crossing those hills in Final Fantasy IX.
Crossing them hills.
Crossing them hills. There's gold in them shells. No, crossing those hills, Final Fantasy IX. I think my favorite overworld theme in the entire series.
Okay.
It just perfectly encapsulates like the adventurous, like the wonderment of Final Fantasy is perfectly captured in the overworld theme of Final Fantasy IX. It is, like I said, probably my favorite in the whole series. Number 7, and this is another sentimental pick, Mario and Draco, Final Fantasy VI, the opera song. Especially if you listen to like all the remakes. I mean, how many songs in Final Fantasy have ever been remade as many times as Maria and Draco? Not many. It is just so iconic. It's the sound in Final Fantasy VI and like how it pushed the boundaries at the time is one of the reasons why 6 is hailed as like one of the top 2 greatest Final Fantasies of all time. And that song has always been like, well, have you got to the opera part yet? Like, have you listened to that?
Yeah.
Even though like, it's like a 16-bit back in the day, and people were like literally putting on a monocle and smoking one of those cigarettes on like the metal sticks, the elongated cigarette, like listening to this in like 1998. Like, yes, this is quite delightful tune.
Techno says you should give the Distant World version a listen. It has finished lyrics. So definitely check that one out. It's like fully orchestrated.
I've listened to all of them. It's great. Awesome. Number 6 was Final Fantasy VII Prelude. We've already covered that. Number 5 was I can't remember if it's a Battle 1 or Battle 2 from Final Fantasy V. It just, man, it's being. I tried to mix it up where it's like a mix between like battles, boss battles, towns, overworld themes, character themes, all that stuff throughout my list. And I think as far as just like normal battle themes, 5 has my favorite.
Okay.
Number 4 was to Xanarkand. Number 3 on my list was Lust for Power. Like I said, I just replayed 12, and for whatever reason, like that was just like the climactic moment in that game where I was playing through, I was enjoying it. I was like, I really like this game again. Like Zodiac Age is just like so much better, and it's very good. And then just as soon as I heard that music and I knew something was coming and then it didn't, and then I did like another dungeon, I came back and it did. But it's like just how it set me up. It was just so climactic. It's a huge turning point in the game, and I was like, I mean, this is just like amazing. Like,
I feel like your top 3, man. This is a top 3, and it didn't make our top 10. I feel kind of bad now.
Well, I hate you guys, and I'll never forgive you. Number 2 was One Wing Angel, and then number 1 was what I anticipate is probably our collective number 1, so I won't even mention it.
Oh,
just put OK Boomer. My favorite song. Oh no, Wedding Singer. Wedding Singer OST.
Wedding Singer OST. All right, there it is.
Techno is going to find our addresses. If we
All right, there it is. That's Reed's top 10 right there.
Wedding Singer OST.
Take a look at it and make sure you can compare this one to Vinny's, and then I'll do my top 10 as well. All right, so that was Reed's list. Now we're going to move on to Daniel's list. That would be mine.
You're Daniel?
Hold on a second, man.
You're saying Daniel and Danny are the same person?
I'm saying
in fact, Vinny, have you ever seen Danny and Daniel in the same place at the same time?
No, I don't. I mean, I've seen MC Hoffwind.
MC Hoffwind?
DJ Hoffwind.
DJ
MC Hoffwind. I don't know why DJ just like kind of rolls, but MC Hoffwind's great too. I didn't even think of that.
All right, my number 10 spot goes to Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI. I love that, man.
Also,
so
if you join us, support us on Patreon, you can get your own Danny themes ringtone.
I'm just going to
Danny ringtones.
I'm just gonna hum every song for you.
Oh, there is a hummed version of a song in Final Fantasy X. It's called "The Hum of the Faith."
It's true. They give you a real good hummer.
And okay.
All right, so this was Final Fantasy VII Remakes version. So it's a merch job. Let the Battles Begin is my number 9. I freaking love that from the original, but I thought when they brought it over to the remake, this was a moment where, when I was talking about earlier, when I said, yeah, no, sometimes that there's nothing better than that classic sound. This is what I'm talking about when they just did it amazing. Like I loved it when they brought in the full orchestra. It just, and the first time it hit when I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake was, it gave it, man, I was just so hype, so excited. So yeah, I definitely Let the Battles Begin from Final Fantasy VII Remake, number 9. Number 8, Libere Fatale from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, it need to be on there. I feel it's tough picking a top 10 because like I wanted to get a variety, like I said, like character themes, towns, you know, et cetera, but
I was going to
Canyon,
do that.
This theme of love and Dancing Happy would probably have been on my list.
Dancing Happy.
Dancing
waiting
joyously.
Bracing for techno. Bracing for techno. Dancing Happy. Yeah, so Final Fantasy VIII kicks off with this song, and I remember when I first played it when I was 8 years old, I believe it was when it came out. Yeah, that it blew my mind that it opened up with the cinematic and the music that went along with the cinematic. Oh my God. It's just been so hype ever since. I always go back and listen to that song. So that's number 8. Number 7 on my list. And you guys are going to notice a trend here. This is Tifa's theme from Final Fantasy VII, from Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is Final Fantasy VII Remake's Tifa theme. I thought it was done beautifully. What are we looking at?
Techno. It's funny.
He's gonna find us and hurt us.
Now.
He's gonna dox us with Kefka. He's like DDoSed. Like my internet's gonna shut down because it's gonna be overwhelmed by laughing Kefka gifs. Who is the second? What? All right, 1B to 1A greatest villain in all Final Fantasy.
So Tifa's theme is my number 7. This is from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just beautiful. I love what they did. They actually took the original Tifa's theme and kind of rearranged it while keeping some subtle hints of the original in there. And I just love it so much. As soon as they showed this, it might have been in a trailer or before release. I think it was before release when they actually had the song out in the open. It was with the I bought a ton of Butterfingers, like a ton of Butterfingers to get the theme. Like I went out and bought like so many Butterfingers.
Gratuitous amounts of Butterfingers.
Gratuitous amount of Butterfingers to get the theme for Tifa. And I think the song was playing as the theme on the PS4. And I would just listen to it before Remake came out. And I just turn it on, turn my PS4 on just to listen to it. Final Fantasy 6. Number 6 on my list, Genova. Genova was number 6 on my list. Freaking love this song. It's freaking, it gets you pumped up. And I think we'll probably end up talking about it later. Number 5. Number 5. The Final Fantasy VII Prelude. We've already discussed the Final Fantasy VII Prelude. Now, everybody's thinking right now, currently, they're like, oh my God, all you got is Final Fantasy VII music. Now, see, I was in the mindset of Reed as well, where I was like, oh man, I really should switch it up, throw some games, music from games here and there.
You haven't even listed one song from the Wedding Singer OST yet.
I know. I'm gonna grow old with you. It's number 1. I still have 3 more picks. Or 4 more picks. So the Final Fantasy VII Prelude, we've already discussed it. But yeah, the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack to me is the pinnacle of Final Fantasy's music to me. I know, yes, and I went back and I even listened to Final Fantasy XIV soundtrack. I've heard so many good things about it. I personally have only played A Realm Reborn. So I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to every Final Fantasy soundtrack before I do this, just to make sure that there's no songs I missed or no songs that are going to like catch me by surprise by like, oh my God, this is freaking amazing. And that would be only with Final Fantasy XIV, as I've played and heard all of the other Final Fantasies. But so I listened to the Final Fantasy 14 soundtrack, and there are a lot of really, really, really well done songs, but none of the it gets to the too much is too much. Like it's bombastic in my opinion. Now I'm not Alex Mukala. I'm not gonna walk you through the the composition of these songs and like say how they're masterpieces, because they are. Soken is a masterful composer, but for me, it comes back to Final Fantasy VII every time. We go to number 4 on my list. And this is one of the exceptions of that not being Final Fantasy VII. This is Xanarkand. Xanarkand, as we discussed before, love it. Final Fantasy X. Number 3 is Cosmo Canyon. Cosmo Canyon. That ended up on the list as well. I'm happy about that. Number 2, Aerith's theme. I've already announced that. And then you can imagine what number 1 is. It is the one Angel. So there it is. One winged.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I was thinking wrong list.
The one winged angel.
Also, can we just appreciate really quickly, Advent Children's One Wing Angel actually slaps. It's best part of the whole
Children,
movie.
yeah, I was going to put that on there, but I didn't feel like that actually classified as.
It doesn't. But the director's cut of that movie, by the way, is significantly better than what we got originally.
Yes.
So then just throwing that out there for our own safety. Dancing Mad gets an honorable mention at song number 0.
It's going to get an honorable mention.
I'm going to throw this out for my own safety. Vinny's address is.
All right, and now I do want to throw in our Patreon supporter. This is our Ultimate Weapon Patreon, and man, we thank you so much. I hope you feel like you were included. One of the benefits of being the Ultimate Weapon was to be on the show with us and discussing this. Unfortunately, plans and you couldn't make it, very busy. But I want you to feel included. So this is the Ultimate Weapon, Badly Brave, and his list. How to right here, Badly Brave. All right, Ultimate Weapons Badly Brave list, and here we go. We're going to start with number 1. I'll just go down the list for him. Number 1, he has Aerith's theme. Is number. Wait, no. I'm sorry. I'm going backwards. I'm going backwards. I'm so sorry. Genova, number 1. Number 2, The Price of Freedom. The Price of Freedom. Number 3, The Theme of Love. The theme of... Oh, I'm messing up. Yeah, The Theme of Love from Final Fantasy IV. Number 4, One Winged Angel. Number 5, the Sunlith Waterscape from Final Fantasy 13.
Huh.
Yeah.
Man, I honestly can't even say I remember much of 13's music, just because I went through the game in like one day and don't remember anything.
I remember the boss battle music, and that's really it.
There's like a plant boss that's like kind of early on in the game, and I remember I got to that boss. I was like, dude, this slap, like this is dope. And then after that, my spirit was shortly thereafter broken. So
I remember that.
Number 6, Dancing Mad. I hope you're happy, Techno. There it is. Dancing Mad is number 6 on his list. Number 7 is The Promise from Final Fantasy 13. Number 8,
Lapsing Kefka.
Suteke Dene from Final Fantasy 10. Crap. There we go. Number 9 is the Final Fantasy VII Prelude. Number 10, Aerith's theme. There it is. So that is Badly Brave and his top 10. Now, this directly affected our outcome of our top 10. So yeah, some things moved around based off of these choices, and I hope you felt like you were included into this podcast. Thank you so much for your support, and also once again, thank you so much for the support of our other Patreons, MJ Gallagher and Peebs Neebles. Peebs also contributed her favorite top 10. So their favorite top 10: Fight On, Genova, Omnis Lacrima, One Winged Angel, The Town Where the Sunlight Doesn't Reach, The Chase, The Oppressed, Beck's Badasses, The Burdened, The First Climax, I'm not sure what, didn't tell me which game, and Hollow, but not the Hollow from Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack. They're referring to Kai from the Reunion podcast. Kai did an amazing cover of this song. I believe that he did it for the Cosmo Canyon Observatory, so you can check that out. But yeah, so amazing cover of the song. That's the top 10 there. And yeah, so chat, what's your, if you could give me your favorite song of all time, your favorite, your number one, what is your number one?
And I just want, while they're deciding, I just want to throw out there a little honorable mention. I'm not sure how many people this applies to, but so for the longest time when Final Fantasy X came out, I
Rancing Dad.
Rancing Dad.
Oh, dude, no, I love that song, Mancing Rad.
What were you saying, Benny?
So Otherworld in Final Fantasy X.
Oh yeah.
When I legally downloaded that off of LimeWire when I was younger, it was credited to Rammstein. So for the longest time, I thought Otherworld was a Rammstein song, and I think
I believe it.
I think that the fact that the song could be attributed to a widely successful German metal band shows how good Otherworld is.
Top 10 Rammstein OST, like starting now. Spoiler.
Number one is Genova, boys. I feel like the chat put it together. Genova ranked high on everyone's list. Genova is the only song that ended up on every single list, all 4 lists. Yeah. Our Patreon supporter, Ultimate Weapon, said that he was going to go number 2 with it, but it slaps so hard you can't put it below.
Slap
anything.
so hard, motherfuckers trying to find me.
Slap so hard.
That shit
It's the only one that ended up on all of our lists. One Winged Angel ended up on 3. Xanarkin ended up on 3. And the Final Fantasy VII Prelude ended up on 3 of our lists. So those were the most duplicated songs on our list. The game that actually had the most choices was Final Fantasy VII. This goes across all of our top 10s. Final Fantasy VII was mentioned 14 times. Final Fantasy X was mentioned 7 times. Final Fantasy VIII was mentioned 4. Final Fantasy VI was mentioned 4 times. Final Fantasy V 2 times. 13 was mentioned 2 times. And 7 Remake was mentioned 2 times.
Also, I want to address something in chat real fast. Something I realized is to a point that they just mentioned, Genova, when I just replayed 7 after my surgery, Genova is like a joke. Like, it is the easiest. Like, this is a true story. After Aerith dies, spoiler, she only uses water-based attacks. You put on like Water Ring and all that elemental ice, and it's a joke. When you fight her in, not Crater, the next last one where it's like only fire. But anyway, what I did was I legit put on like all the equipment I needed to just like absorb all of her attacks, and I just like put my controller down and just listen to the song, like because it's like she can't hurt me. It's a joke. Like she's kind of a joke of a boss, but her music is just like the best. Also, worth mentioning, the high point of all of 7 Remake for me. Thank you, Vincent. 100% high point of 7 Remake for me was the boss fight with Genova. The whole time I'm like, man, they're not even like, this music is like a rip on it kind of, but it's like slower and like the tempo is like completely different. Not feeling it at all. But as soon as phase 3 of that boss fight hits and like, oh my god, man, like I lost my shit. I lost my shit.
I was so actually tempted. I was like, when it comes to the 2 Genova songs, I was like, man, at first I didn't like Remake's Genova. And I was like, oh man, I don't like this, man. I see that you got little subtle hints, but like you said, man, when part 3 came in, part 3 of the battle happened, and then it hits with that freaking, and I'm right there with you, man. I lost it. Amazing. And I was like, man, is this actually better? Because I love the build up to it. Like it feels like a build up, feels like something exciting is about to happen. But then I went back and I listened to the original Genova, and I was like,
exactly.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Techno just captured in chat perfectly. It's like it's a great misdirection. It is.
Yes.
It's a great way to put it. Great way to put it.
Hints that you could hear Genova like subtly in the background, like you can hear it, and I'm like, oh man, and then it hits at like right at the climax of the battle, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is amazing.
That's a good idea though, and have different variations of it in future fights, dude. I mean, I am so looking forward to. I mean, this is like a whole other podcast. I mean, we've talked about this a million times, but like we're 7 remakes going. I mean, obviously the biggest cliffhanger is like my main man Zach possibly being alive. Even though Brady Games said he was alive in the original, and I'm still mad about that.
Bring this up again.
Still mad about that. I'm still mad about it. I'm not okay. What? It's an official walkthrough.
I still have no idea.
Self-proclaimed official walkthrough.
Yeah, I still have
Brady Games. It's Brady Games. It's Brady Games.
Tom Brady?
You could Tom Brady. Is
this Tom Brady game?
Is this what if related?
Yeah. What if like the way he paid his way through Michigan, like he paid his way through college by writing walkthroughs for JRPGs, and then he like goes on to win 7 Super Bowls.
Baby Seal says that he's going to rate the stream a 10 out of 10. So thank you very much. I won't read the rest of your. Oh wait, I'll read that one.
well,
11,
he also gave
11 out of 10 for Daniel being a rock star. So thank you for that. I won't read the other one. No, I'm just kidding. 3 out of 10 for diversity.
Well, hold on. I'm Puerto Rican, so add another point for diversity.
So
I'm from Argentina, so you know.
When it comes to the music, the soundtracks of Final Fantasy, I just man, when I was doing the list, I was like, man, we're gonna get hit with this. Is you guys are obviously Final Fantasy VII fanatics, which we are. We love Final Fantasy VII, but we love Final Fantasy all in general, all together.
Hey, to be fair, I love Final Fantasy V more than anyone here. Okay,
exactly. Like, that's your favorite game. Yeah, and I was like, man, we're gonna get hit, but the music in Final Fantasy VII is just, I mean, it's just on another level, man. Like even going back and listening to every soundtrack before this, like just go, I listened to every single soundtrack before this. Like skip some of the the songs that don't, they're not gonna make the top 10. But I
mean, it's tough narrowing it down to a top 10.
It really is.
Again, but there's several that I would have included, but I wanted to try to mix it up because I wanted like thematically. And some of it, he even pointed out there's for variety or what's the word? What's diversity?
Mm-hmm.
Part of my picks were literally go against the concept of diversity because like I picked some that I knew were like universally loved, like Genova, One Wing Angel, Air Theme, like Paramina Rift. I mean, should be universal, but everyone else is wrong. So, no, I mean, it's so hard just picking a top 10, but I mean, I'm happy with our list. I'm glad I didn't even put Cosmo Canyon on my list, which I will regret for the rest of my life.
Yes.
But Cosmo Canyon, I'm glad that's on there. Fleeting Dream, I'm glad Vinny like got me to look back into that, because I mean, like I said, Final Fantasy X is my next replay. So I'm really looking forward to that again. So it's strong. I mean, there's so many great tracks, man. Final Fantasy as a series has like some of the best music. I do want to throw out one honorable mention for OST outside of The Wedding Singer. Greatest music on PlayStation JRPG, Breath of Fire 3. Boom, said it. Boom, said it. It's done. It's been said. It's been done. There's no
It's been
going
done.
back.
It's been said. Vinny, what are you thinking
You
of our
change
top
things.
10, man? You think it's a pretty solid top 10?
Yeah. I mean, so you saw how my list was with the battle themes and everything. I like the list that we have because I feel like it's probably pretty 7 heavy. But I mean, that's to be expected with how popular that game is over the other ones.
It's like, even if you set aside popularity, though, like, I just feel like
I'm just gonna bring
the
something
soundtrack,
up
though.
that you told me when I was making my list, because I was gonna leave A Fleeting Dream off and put Genova as number 1, and then you had said to me, I think your list should be true to you, and I mean, if Final Fantasy VII soundtrack is what you find to be the best soundtrack, and that's true to you, then there's no reason to be apologetic for it. I mean, there are
Yeah, exactly. Let everyone else apologize for not including Paramina Rift.
or dancing happy, or hip hop day chocobo.
Lansing sad.
Lansing sad.
Yeah, Mansing Rad.
So I do like to address Dancing Mad, and because I feel like Techno's waiting for this. To address that, I would like to know why Dancing Mad wasn't on your list as well. For me, Dancing Mad, I just don't vibe with it at all. Like, and it's just, everybody loves it. I'm so much the outcast. At least I thought I was the outcast until I received your lists, and I was like, whoa, Dancing Mad's not on your list either. This is interesting. For me, I'm the outcast here. Everybody loves Dancing Mad. Everybody thinks it's a masterpiece, and I'm just like, why am I not vibing with this? I went back and I listened to it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this. And then even the orchestrated version on Final Fantasy 14, I listened to that one. I was like, okay, so they did a Final Fantasy 14. Let me see if I like that. And I'm just like, it feels all over the place. You know what I mean? And I know like a composer would say, it's a masterpiece. And I'm like, for me, I'm just like, no, it's all over the place. What do you guys think?
Well, we know what everybody thinks. That everybody's been pulling for Dancing Mad the whole time.
No, I'm wondering why it wasn't on your top 10. Like,
my top 10?
Yeah,
as an evolution of a song. So I put the Extreme at right? Yeah, the Extreme. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII. For the Ultimecia fight, because like the way it develops as a song, because it kind of starts kind of low and then picks up. Dancing Mad's like the same way, like how you say it's all over the place. It's kind of at the same time, it like the song like evolves and develops. And if you're considering like people were making this for like 16-bit at the time, it is amazing.
Yes. I appreciate it for what it was at the time.
Dancing Mad is really, really good.
That's like making a sculpture out of Play-Doh. You know what I mean? It's
so
making
hard
a
to
masterpiece
pick,
sculpture out of Play-Doh.
Yeah,
and that's what Uematsu did.
Yeah, and I mean, there's One Wing Angel. There, I mean, there's not another big bad theme outside of, One Wing Angel and the Extreme that I would even put in the same category as Dancing Mad. And like I've already mentioned, Kefka is like the 1B to my Sephiroth 1A of all-time favorite villains. Not just because we share the same birthday, but because the Laughing Kefka gifts now, which I will forever live with. Yeah, I don't know. That was like a hard cut But again, I was trying to like diversify, so I didn't want to like have multiple boss themes, or like final boss themes. But
Well,
that
quick stats
should
while you
definitely get there.
mentioned that. Battle themes was the dominant stat here. The dominant theme. Battle at 17 times.
16 of those were mine.
Yeah, I was about to say like most of those were Vinny.
Character themes
Which
got
one of us
6
likes to
times.
grind the most? I wonder.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Dude, I wonder like what what'd be really funny is like I just want to make like a playlist of Vinny, just like it's just like a zoom on Vinny with his controller, just like doing random battles for hours and hours on a loop to grind with me. That's like
God.
the
Grind
R&B
with
song. Grind with me, relax your mind, take your time, Vinny. Like,
Take your time. We'll do the singing so we don't get hit with it. We'll just sing it together.
yeah. Not like,
while he plays.
Exactly.
Character was mentioned 6 times. Overworld or area themes was 5 times. Event themes, like these are songs that would play during like a particular moment, were mentioned 4 times. The main theme of a Final Fantasy game was mentioned 4 times. The Prelude was mentioned 3 times, and the town theme 1 time, and I guess that was Cosmo Canyon. So yeah, that's some quick stats for you there too. I thought those are some interesting stats. That's our top 10. One more time. Number 10, Theme of Love. Number 9, Force Your Way. Number 8, Cosmo Canyon. Number 7, The Price of Freedom. Number 6, A Fleeting Dream. Number 5, Aerith's Theme. Number 4, The Final Fantasy VII Prelude. Number 3, Xanarkand. Number 2, One Winged Angel. And number 1, Genova. Chat, we're going to go over you real quick. Let's see. Kreisman says, Dancing Mad as a translation of Dante's Inferno seen through the eyes of the great composers, Bach, Mozart, and Beethoven, etc. That's some cool information. Thanks for
that is awesome. I love Dante's Inferno. So anyway,
go ahead.
If we get our 10 followers, I will literally do a video of me taking a pie to the face.
A pie to the face.
Pie to the face.
Not
Let's get
only
some
are you
followers.
going to get a giveaway of an Aerith's box, you get a pie to the face.
Yeah.
We got Tech
yeah.
saying, I just remember seeing it live at Distant Worlds. That's amazing that you got to actually go to Distant Worlds. I'm super jealous. I want to do that one day. Go to a Final Fantasy VII remake concert. Whew, amazing. And never being more impressed with a piece of music. When you consider also that they had to create an orchestral masterpiece on an SNES, to me that's just unbeatable. I could probably write a whole ass essay on it, but it's just the way it and the boss build up to represent Kefka as a villain so expertly that makes it just so damn impressive. And yeah, I appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Yes, I'm listening to it right now, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? But anyways,
so the cool thing is you can like, all right, so if you turn it on and you're listening to it, you can like just skip like a minute at a time, just skip like 60 seconds ahead, and it's a completely different song. Skip 60 seconds ahead, it's a completely different song.
It just went into like this.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome. And
I love that it definitely, you hit the nail on the head. It definitely represents the character that it's about.
Exactly,
I mean, absolutely.
The Clown
Genova,
Prince of Final Fantasy.
let's see. Genova got 2 if we include the fact that Aerith theme also plays during the Genova fight. And we got Schrodinger Baby Seal says it's definitely hard to separate enjoyment from the soundtrack. I would say though that 7 has the best soundtrack objectively. It covers the most range of feelings and experiences, but I can't imagine a list of top 10 songs from Final Fantasy having more than 2 songs from it. So I will admit some surprises here, but I would rather you guys not pander. If this is what you feel, I'm interested and support it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I would love to see top 10 lists from everybody here in the chat, but obviously that's, we don't have time to go through all of them, but I would love to see it. Comment your top 10 and on YouTube or Twitch, or yeah, I guess on YouTube you can comment. That would be great. I'd love to hear your top 10s as well. We're gonna read a little bit more from chat. Here we go.
shit, don't read mine.
Wait, which mark were all this? Asking for a friend, which minute mark is what?
Decrease. So we were talking about Dante's and I almost said Dante's Peak.
Yes.
The literary masterpiece Dante's Peak. We were talking about Dante's Inferno, and he's saying the reason the song changes up so much is like the 7 stages of hell. That song that rhymes with Prancing Lad.
the Prancing Lad.
Is that what he said? The Prancing Dad. The Prancing Dad.
The Prancing Dad.
My new bar. That's my new bar that's coming. We're opening next week.
So there it is, guys. That's our top 10. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We have an egg with feelings here. A sentient huevos.
Oh, I think Final Fantasy 16 will have amazing music when it comes out, and that's cool that we can bring up that topic too, talking about the Final Fantasy 16 music. It's obviously kind of going back to, it feels like it's going to go back to the olden medieval times that you have in the earlier Final Fantasies. So I can imagine that we'll probably get a little bit references to earlier Final Fantasies redone. That's kind of where I'm at with Final Fantasy 16. I'm really excited. Obviously, Final Fantasy 14 is going to be inspired as well it's going to be inspired by 14. So yeah, I'm excited for Final Fantasy 16 too, man. I cannot wait. And plus, the freaking trailer has an amazing track playing behind that trailer.
I just can't wait to see the vision, like the vision of like how the summons are going to play into it, like the deities, the deification of the summons, the eidolons, whatever, however you want to refer to them. But
I'll read top threes. Techno has Dancing Mad, and Dancing Mad. So there you go. That's a top 3 from Techno. No, he said for real though. He says Dancing Mad, One Winged Angel, the Final Fantasy 7 remake version, and Terra's theme. That's actually interesting discussion too. The One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy 7 remake was like they just plucked different moments of One Winged Angel and just kind of mashed them. You know what I mean? Like it just
the Turks theme though. That's
nope. Biggest disappointment for me. The Turks theme in Final Fantasy 7 remake, the biggest disappointment.
He might just be referring
to 11 on my list.
Yeah, he might be referring to the OG because the new one was meh.
The Turks theme from Final Fantasy 7, the original, was number 11 on my list. Tongue clacks and finger snaps, baby. What? Come on, man. This is the jam. So yeah, I love the Turks theme. I really wanted that to be in my number. It almost edged out Terra's theme, but I was like, Terra's theme is just too beautiful not to be on the list. So yeah, there it is. We got Vincent Graymore, the Prelude from one of the Final Fantasy 7, 14, or Realm Reborn. You're Not Alone from Final Fantasy 9. That was also, God, I tried to get that in my list too. I have like a top 20 in my Google.
I just can't even think of that song without hearing that like terrible like Seosin ballad in my head. If you're a boomer like me, from and you graduated high school in 2007, you know the song I'm referring to, and it will haunt your dreams.
And Creasman says, "Yep, Liberi Fatale." I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. The opera from Final Fantasy 2, and then Dancing Mad as number 3. So there it is. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I was just gonna say I have 2 music boxes. So I feel like even though we didn't hit our follower mark this time, I still feel like we can do 1 giveaway this time.
Okay.
If chat wants to do it this time, so I have 24 entries, and there are only 10 viewers. As far as I can see, there's only 10 viewers. I'm not sure how updated my list is. But
hey guys, toss us a follow if you can. If we get 10 followers, I'll take a pie to the face on video.
Wow.
So everybody who is here and wants to participate in the music box giveaway, just type like hello in all caps in chat, And then everybody who's on the entry list who doesn't show up in chat, I'm just gonna remove from
Your
the
little
entry
wheel,
list.
because you got a
little
fun
wheel.
little
Yeah.
spinning
So
wheel.
if you want to allow me to share my screen, everybody can see whose names are up here. So if somebody's here and they don't see their name on, I can throw them in.
All right, this is probably going to jack up the layout. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It might. We'll see.
Is it international delivery? Yes. Yeah. We could send it internationally.
Cool.
I just love egg with feelings.
Which egg with feelings is in the entry list. I had you in there.
What came first, the chicken or the egg with feelings?
Did that work, Vinny?
Oh, let me share my screen.
It's probably gonna jack up the layout. I'll be ready.
I'm
Yep.
on like a.
My dog is like.
Ooh, look how
craving my
many
attention
spinny
right now.
wheels you get there. Hold on one second.
Are there a lot of spinning wheels?
Oh my god!
It got a little weird. Hold on. Speaking of the bombing mission not being on the. Let me get that window.
that is a lot of spinny wheels.
God dang it! How do I get this? Window capture.
I believe in you, Danny.
I know, man. I'm thinking. Here we go. There it is. Okay. Speaking of why the bombing mission wasn't on there, man, it actually was super close on my list as well. But Midgar, the city of Midgar from Final Fantasy VII Remake, was probably it's so hard not to put that on there because it's the only song, one of the only songs that I actually teared up when I heard it. So like the city of Midgar, like the trailer when they released that trailer for it, and it starts off with that oh man, very ominous that build up, and then when that title hits the screen, you know what I mean? It just chills every time I hear it when that title just goes, bah! You know, like it's just it's so amazing. You know what I mean? So I was trying to get that in my top.
The next giveaway, by the way, is for the Danny ringtone. I'm sold on this. This is gonna happen.
Yes, I mean I'll hum all the songs for you. It'd be great.
He'll give you a great hummer.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, take it away, Vinny.
Get mine out of the gutter.
So
Oh my God, there it is. We have a winner already.
Oh.
it's Vincent Graymore.
It's Vincent Graymore.
It didn't spin.
Did it
No,
even
it-
spin?
It did spin. No, it spun.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There. Okay.
Uh,
Incredible.
Yeah, so I know he's in here, and so all right, Vincent Graymore, do you accept the prize?
Do you accept?
Do you accept the prize?
No.
No, it's. Oh man, I don't know. I'm not gonna speak.
That was completely random number generated with a list of 23
Well,
other
thank you.
people.
You can't escape it, Vincent. This belongs to you. You
So-
can't.
You will take it. You will be clean.
That was 100% random.
It is fate. Oh, don't mention the word fate, Vincent. You know this. But
Oh
yeah,
no, the possibilities.
Vincent, the funniest thing about this is super random. The funniest thing is that Vincent has been such a big supporter of Final Fan TV. I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey man, we have this," and he was like, "Oh man, I can't accept that. Thank you so much, though. I just can't accept it." And now it's like, boom, Vincent Graymore, it is yours, destiny.
Yeah, it was so close, baby Seal. I'm sorry, so close. But yeah,
There's another one.
We do have another one. This one is
Oh, are we doing 2 giveaways?
what you
Not
want to do
yet.
both right now? Do you want
I
to do
don't
both
know.
right now?
You're the
So-
limit breaker, man.
So my thought was I was just gonna spin it, and if it lands on somebody who's not here, then I could remove their name from the list, and also I'm gonna remove Vincent's name from the list because so he doesn't win twice.
You're gonna
But,
get 2.
You didn't want one, now you're getting 2.
I can't believe that. For
So
Vincent.
yeah, we could do both right now, and just do other giveaways at other points.
Can you
but
make the spin longer, man? Like I don't feel like I get to
Yeah,
watch.
well,
it
I
spin.
need a more dramatic spin.
I clicked on it by accident, actually.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay.
You son of a.
So Vincent Graymore won it by fate, accidentally, on purpose, again.
Vincent,
All right,
Vincent
so-
Graymore.
All right, I'm
Vincent-
gonna click. So tell me if you guys see it spin.
I'm so excited. Oh, it's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. Here we go.
I don't. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go.
Okay.
There it is. Trey Coop.
So Trey Coop 3, are you in chat? You have
Are you
10
in chat?
seconds
Claim
to
it.
say something
Ooh,
in chat
10
to claim it.
It's 10, 9,
9, 8,
8, 7.
Oh,
There he
okay.
is. Trey Coop.
Yes. Okay.
Trey
So
Coop,
we have
you're
our
getting a
2 winners
dope-ass
then.
music box. Yeah.
So
Sweet.
Both of you get in touch with MC Hoffwind so we could figure out a way to send you these
DJ
music
Megahoff.
boxes.
Also very important. You have to be a follower. I don't
Yes,
know.
you have to be a follower.
I don't know. If you are or
Yeah.
not,
Toss us a follow.
but you gotta be a follow. But
I
that's-
can't tell if he's a follower or not.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
Man, we've gone up to 13.
But there it is. Thank you guys
And
so
12 and 11.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in.
And 12 and 11. So
Rip in peace.
this isn't the last time we're going to do giveaways, and we're going to try and advertise it a little more on Twitter or other social medias. But this was kind of like our test giveaway run. But yeah, we're going to do more stuff like this to give back to you guys for doing so much for us. So yeah, so we have our 2 winners. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. So it's Trey Coop 3 and I can't forget Vincent Graymore. That's impossible.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. All right. Vinny, if you don't mind, not just stop sharing the screen, so I'll go back to the. There we go. All right, there it is. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to our top 10 Final Fantasy songs. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, there's our top 10 one more time. We're going to go through it one more time. The Theme of Love, Force Your Way, Cosmo Canyon, The Price of Freedom, A Fleeting Dream, Earth Theme, the Final Fantasy VII Prelude, Xanarkand, One Winged Angel, and Genova.
And,
there
and
it is.
one in 0 Dancing Mad, and 0
And
Part 2, 0B, Parabena, and also every song from The Wedding Singer.
Earth Theme. All right, guys. Earth Theme. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and end the stream out. Take care. And also, hey, be a warrior of light, not a cloud of darkness.